He's gentle, he's kind, and he's exactly how most of the heroes are like. I said heroes and not a lover because compared to the way a villain loves their partner is way more than that of a hero, making them a better love interest than the hero, at least for me. They say the hero will sacrifice you to save the world, but the villain will sacrifice the world to save you. And I do believe that. After seeing so many examples of heroes protecting the world, being selfless, and always doing the right thing. Even here, the writer made Azure go through something similar. But that wasn't the only part where he messed up. For me, it was him doubting their love and his own feelings, losing trust in her, and not even looking at her because he was afraid of her powers. At the beginning of the episodes and manga as well, Azure is shown as little cold. But as we move ahead, he melts down and turns into a gentle character. Though he was never violent like Sett, his tendencies to just do what he thinks is the best is a little annoying. The first time it happened is when he decides to sacrifice himself for Fortuna, and Nina had to knock some sense into him. And the other time is when he ordered Nina to be banished because he doesn't want her to get hurt. One more thing, as I said, is the fact that he is a hero. He has priorities other than Nina, which might be a good thing, a better thing for a healthy relationship, but choosing his small kingdom over her was not a very green flag material for me. Alright, let's get into the details. The anime will probably cover volume 7 or 8 if it have 12 episodes. And spoilers, these volumes will have the whole prison plot where Nina will be imprisoned after being accused of poisoning Sett. She will have her friend and Prince Yor attending her. It will be also the start of Prince Yor and Anne's relationship. Yeah, he's not in fact gay and is actually scared of women. And we will also see General Holt, the one person that the King of Gelgada talked about. I really ship them together, but let's move on to how Azure was leaving even after knowing that someone was trying to harm Nina, to prepare for the war that the King of Gelgada had announced to be before spring now, while kinda sugarcoating it with Sett and Nina's early marriage. Though he did come back after Hikami told him that Nina was imprisoned, and he did save her from the prison warden, but why did he leave in the first place? Negative points for him. I'm just kidding, his character is sweet and I'm really ready to shift to his side as long as he get his act right. But in all seriousness, it's not who we like Nina better with, it's about Nina herself. And I think she's also on the Sett side, because when Sett was fuming with rage after he found out about how Nina did all of this for Azure, he comes straight to her, not to clear out the misunderstandings, but to kill her. And even after that, she didn't go with Azure to Fortuna, but instead she ran towards Sett, and then away from him after saying this to Azure. I do feel bad for him, he does love her a lot. Doesn't matter if she's confused about her own feelings, he loves her when she rejects his offer to go back, and he still loves her even when she chooses Sett. But that doesn't mean that she should end up with him. He has his flaws, and for me, they outweighed his good side. For example, when they finally return to Fortuna, he seems distant. I mean, heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? And even at that time, Nina was the one who put effort so they would have some time together. Like sneaking into his room because the guards won't let her in. But she falls asleep waiting for him, and then he falls asleep on top of her, saying in his sleep that he wants Nina by his side. There was also this time when Nina heard that he was going to marry another princess, and though she wanted him to be happy, she was not very happy about it. And he calls her for another reason, but she blunted out her emotions and he quickly erased the misunderstandings, saying that he only wants her by his side. We know that he lives his life acting as a prince, and the only person who makes him feel like himself is Nina. Like as he says, when she calls him Ash, it becomes his true name, and his reflection in her eyes feels real. That's why he said that he needs her, and if she is with him, he could do anything. Not gonna lie, it was kind of selfish, but he can be cute too. I mean, just look at him fixing his bangs before Nina come to meet him because she likes his hair like that. The writer gave us such hard choices by giving us these little details. Anyways, he decides to free Nina from the role of Alicia. But before he does that, the real Alicia arrives. And she looks exactly like the third queen, her mother, so everyone believes her. Azure, not knowing what to do, commands the guard to seize Nina. He wasn't happy about it, but he did give the order. And when I read it, my mind went like, Sett would never. And I also hated the people of Fortuna, like they forgot how kind Nina was and how she was selfless enough to marry someone she didn't even know at that time. Compared to them, I think people of Gelgida might be more nicer to her. Moving forward, Nina got locked up in Fortna too, and the people praises Azure for revealing the previous king's crimes. He does visit her in the cell and promises to protect the land and her, asking her to just hang in there for a while, saying that it might take some years, but no matter what happens, they'd live together one day. It was cute, it was sweet, it was a good scene, until he got scared and banished her from the land that he wanted to protect along with her. The people that arrived there, the people of Astral Villa, said how Nina was the child of wandering star person and have powers like becoming eyes of the bird, listening and calming the heart of the living things, and even making them obey her. And she also have the power to summon winds. Where some people call them guiders, there were people who called the Astral Princess or the star people the bringers of ruins, because they have the power to grant wishes as blessings or disasters. They scared of a poor girl, saying that she should just leave Fortna and live away from others. They clearly manipulated her, and now I like to believe that Azure, not being a perfect lover, might be real Alicia's doing. Like, I'm pretty sure Alicia also have some type of power that she is using against Azure. But that's not confirmed right now, so I'm Team Sett. After brainwashing Nina, they told Azure about these powers of hers and asked him not to look into Nina's eyes because they would deceive him. And he believes them because after lightning strike hurt Anne and the little prince as they were visiting Nina in the prison, he comes to her, but looking at her glowy eyes, he closed his, saying that after 10 days he will pass the judgment on her. He didn't look at her once, and like me, Soul, aka General Holt, smelled something fishy by how Azure completely ignored Nina. He seems out of it, and even his attendants sense it. Nina was too having a whole breakdown. She knew she was going to be banished, so she asked Hikami to let her say goodbye to Sett in person. He was asleep when she sees him, but he was still listening, and later he would be the one to save her and get her out of this mess. But that's a topic for another time. Right now, let's go back to being mad at Azure for treating Nina that way. She was waiting for the day the King Azure would pass his judgment on her because she would get to see Azure again. But as the day came, he didn't even look at her once. This is the scene that I'm talking about, and it hurts me really badly.
Please look at me one last time.
After that, he was kind enough to ask Soul to protect her, and when he asked why can't he save Nina himself, he looks back at himself, the memories, and think of something totally useless and make an excuse that due to his position, he cannot act. When in his mind, he says that it's not Nina, but himself that he can't believe. That's why he can't bring himself to act. I'd say it's a fact that he doesn't believe in his or her love, while Sett was already off to find her because he knew he loves her, and he has no doubt whatsoever, while Azure just looks at him from his high window. Also, the old lady wanted Nina dead, so Soul and Hikami saved her, and from there, she ran away. I also grow to love Hikami's character. He might have been a tricky person in the start, but I grow to love him too. Anyways, that was the major part of why a lot of people are on Team Sett, but there's no doubt that Azure still loves Nina because he later saves her life as he always does. But this time, while Nina was unconscious, she called Sett instead. The scene of Sett and Nina in volumes after this one were so beautiful, and I bet that most people who have read the manga are on his side, despite Azure having black hair and golden eyes. Alright, do tell me what you think of Alicia's influence on Azure, because I really feel like there's something fishy going on there. That was all for today. Thank you for listening to me. Take care of yourself and goodbye.
All the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really want to hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change.